Rick, what we're doing is since everyone is on mute, we're typing in who we are and where we're zooming from in the chat box. But yeah, Rick, what we're doing is since everyone is on mute, hi, Evelyn. If you guys have power, can you give a thumbs up? Do you have power? Oh, great. You guys were without power for a long time. We can't talk because we're on mute, but you can type in the chat box where you're from, where you're typing in from. Hey, Matt. Good morning. It's a lovely day today. I hope all of us get a chance to get outside at some point. Rick, I was just speaking to someone from Bluebell just the other day. It's a former member who has moved back to Bluebell, Marianne Miller Masana, and her husband, Tony, died a couple of weeks ago. I don't know if you know Marianne or not. Maybe sometime you and I can talk and I can introduce you guys, but she lives there in Bluebell. Yeah. Hello, Jean. Jean, we're typing in the chat box who we are and where we're zooming from. I just got a text from somebody here. Let's see, who is this? Rich, it looks like you're on the big screen.
Well, for me, it looks like you are.
Well, that's strange.
I temporarily spotlighted you as an experiment to see what happens on the YouTube live stream. Oh no, now I'm there.
And Beth, so you're in Plymouth? Yeah. Gene, is Greg going to join you this morning? If so, is he? Okay. Okay. Hi, Bill. Good to see you this morning. Yeah, Gene, I would imagine that Florida is not a pleasant place to be these days. I imagine it's getting really hot and really humid by now. Yeah. There are a lot of folks who have tuned in, but not showing video yet. For those of you who are tuning in, we are muting everyone for the time being and before the service starts. But please identify yourself in the chat box. Let us know where you're zooming from. Hi, Gary. Is Valerie going to be joining you this morning? Linda and Craig, good to see you. Good morning. And Ruth looks like she's in the Caribbean. Well, hi, Terry. I just got your text. And yes, I do have some answers for you, which you'll get later. I can only communicate one medium at a time. We're asking people to check in on the chat box and let us know who you are and where you're coming from. Now, here's someone, Christine Carney from Austin, Texas. You know, if I had to live in Texas, Austin is where I would like to live. Yeah. That's a happening place. I used to live in Waco, and we would say that Waco was the bathroom stop between Dallas and Austin. And I see Ms. Antar from West Norristown. I see, Christine, you do not live in Austin, you're visiting. Yes. And Marty, I see that you're in your backyard in King of Prussia. Norma, good to see you. Leanne, good to see you. Oh, there's the whole family. Celia, Anya, Carrie, and Bill, and Bryn Mawr. Good to see you this morning. And Silas's parents, grandparents. From Folkways, if I'm saying that correctly. Doug, good to see you. JB.
I want to point out that if you are in gallery view, which you can be by clicking in the upper right-hand corner, there's probably something that says gallery view and has a little picture of like 9 dots on the grid. Then you can see everybody, and everybody who does that can see you. And this is a great time to wave or give thumbs up or silly smiles or greet each other.
Nini from Berwyn, good to see you. Carol, good to see you. Steve, and hi Don. Susan, glad you could join us with Ken. We're typing in the chat box to see who's here and where we're from, since we're all on mute. Hi, Liz. There's Christy Perry. Hi. Sandy and Bob and Diane. Will Steve be joining you, Diane? We can't talk. You have to see that it's thumbs up or thumbs down. Or you can type in the chat box. And MJ, glad you're here with us this morning.
I'm kind of afraid to say this, but I'm so happy that things are more or less working, unlike last time.
Don't you dare, don't even say that yet.
I'm scared too, and I've got all my fingers crossed.
Let's see, the Callahan family says hello. Hi, Jess. There's Carol. I think that's Neal, right? Yep. Hi. Is that Ken? Yes. Hello, Ken. Feel free to type in the chat box so we can know who you are and where you are, since we're all on mute right now. I believe that's Helen. Hi, Helen. Good to see you this morning. And Jean, good to see you. Is Rosemarie joining you this morning? Okay, maybe later. Okay. Okay. It looks like Claudia and Peter. Hi. I mean Paul. Paul, sorry. Peter's your son. See, I'm getting it. I'm getting it. Hi, Dilip. I got your message this morning, and yes, we'll include that. Thank you. Oh, I see, Diane. Steve is playing tennis this morning. I see. That's his religion. As you join us, feel free to check in with the chat box. See, the Barkers are here. Good to see you. Joe Lipton. Andy back, our trusty welcomer this morning. Neal and Mike from Maryland. I bet it's beautiful down there right now. And Mary Stromquist. Bobby and Bill Potzik. Good to see you. Hi, Deidre. Sigrid, I'm glad you could join us this morning. Good to see you. Ah, Neela, you're outside. Looks great. Looks so refreshing. Oh, I'll see you, Mike. Hi. Hi, Jensen. Angie. And the whole family, I believe. Hi, Leslie. So you got your flowers ready. Good morning, Lee. As you join us, feel free to check in on the chat box since we're all on mute right now. Hi, Jamie. Good to see you this morning. Were you able to get rid of that pool table? You know, if you keep giving all this stuff away, you won't have that much to move when you go to Quadrangle. Hello, Joanne and Ron. Ron, it's good to see that you're still alive. Man, you have been through the ringer.
It is 7 minutes past the hour. There are 69 people on the Zoom and another 40 watching on YouTube. Perhaps it's time to start?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Good morning. Welcome to Mainline Unitarian Church. My name is Andrew Back, and I'm a member of our church's Board of Trustees. I'm glad that you're joining us for our online worship today, and thanks for your patience in getting everything started. As you will learn, this unique communion was created in the 1920s for Czechoslovakian Unitarians by Minister Norbert Šapek. Šapek wished to create a shared ritual that brought people together regardless of their religious traditions, or in this case, our technical expertise. Šapek, who became a victim of Nazi hatred and brutality, speaks to us when he wrote, "The church's task must be to place truth above any tradition, spirit above any scripture, freedom above authority, and progress above all reaction." In this spirit, whatever your beliefs, whomever you love, and whatever your background, you're welcome here at MLUC. MLUC members should take special note that our annual congregational meeting begins at 11 a.m. today, immediately after this service. Voting was done by absentee ballot before today's meeting. You can simply remain online at the end of the service to join the meeting. Also, for those of you wondering about plans for the church's annual community weekend at Camp Canadensis, Jess Michaels and Jean Ramsbottom wish to thank everyone for their feedback about this event. Unfortunately, the campus management has decided they'll remain closed all summer. But our reservation for Labor Day weekend 2021 is on their books, so mark your calendars. Also, the environmental justice team is meeting at 12:30 today, or immediately after the annual meeting ends. The Zoom link is on the church's calendar. Although our building is closed, our congregational life is active online, and there's a full calendar of meetings, classes, and discussions. All the dates, times, and Zoom ID numbers for these meetings can be found on the website at www.mluc.org. Now, please join me in reciting our guiding principles. Together, we transform lives through love, service, and our welcoming faith. And now, please settle into the spirit of worship with our prelude. The music is Menuet by Johann Mattheson, performed for us by Brent Barenhausen on the marimba.
Good morning. Thank you all for joining us for our first live Zoom worship service. It's really exciting to have this be more or less working. And as I just put in the chat, it's good for everybody to see us learning, because we are all people who need to learn various things at various times, and having modeling of what you do when things aren't quite working is always helpful for me. So hopefully it's helpful for you. I'm Dawn Star Sarah's Borchelt. I'm your Director of Lifespan Faith Development. And this is the first time that we're relatively successfully so far worshiping in this format with MLUC. And I want to acknowledge that we will certainly not be doing it perfectly this first time, which you've already seen. We appreciate your patience and collaboration in making this work. Richard Fritzen, our Executive Director, is working behind the scenes to make Zoom do what we want it to do. Reverend Neal and I are leading, and we have help in some key spots from other folks. The first of whom is Priscilla Osgood, who's graciously reading our chalice lighting words for us. Priscilla is one of many dedicated gardening volunteers who keep the grounds at MLUC beautiful and healthy, even during this time of pandemic. She'll be reading Within the Heart of the Flower by Amy Zucker Morgenstern.
Within the heart of the flower, the fountain of beauty, within the heart of the community, a fire that warms and dances. Within the heart of each of us, a spark of the spirit of life. Holy, holy, holy.
It's time for our opening song. And I have some stampeding children coming down to help me with this. So if you hear that in the background, that's what that is. Here they come. The song is I Love the Mountains, which is a well-loved Girl Scout campfire song, although I've changed up the words a bit to make it fit better with Flower Communion. And I want to tell you that singing on Zoom is tricky. If we all unmuted our microphones, all 70 plus of us at this point, and tried to sing, it wouldn't work. There's enough of a lag that singing out loud on more than one computer really doesn't work. It just sounds awful, like cacophony. So I'll be singing here with my backup singers, Day and Junie, and you can sing at home, and only you will be able to hear yourself singing. You may feel like this is a good thing if you're someone who doesn't like other people to hear you sing, or it may feel sad if you're a person who really enjoys joining your voice with the crowd. But either way, before we actually start singing, I'm going to teach you some hand motions to go with the song. The words we're using are going to be in the chat box. I'll put them there right now. I think most of you have found the chat box at this point. But if you haven't, you should get a little notification when this gets in there that shows you where it is. It helps if I send it to everyone and not just to Rich. So here we go. Here are the words. And there's hand motions. So I'm going to teach you the hand motions. So I love the flowers, jazz hands. I love the daffodils, a little tiny daffodil coming up and blooming. I love the mountains, a big strong mountain peak. I love the rolling hills. Take your hands and make a wave like rolling hills. I love the fireside, when all the lights are low. Boom diada, boom diada, boom diada, boom diada. So before we add the backing music, which Vincent recorded for us, like he did for all of the music in this service, I'm just going to sing it without the backing music and do the motion so you can practice once, and then we'll do it with the music. So here we go. I love the flowers. I love the daffodils. I love the mountains. I love the rolling hills. I love the fireside when the lights are low. Boom diada, boom diada, boom diada, boom diada. Okay, now, one last thing. When you look at your screen, you see the change to gallery view or the little grid of 9 dots. If you click on that, when I put the music on, we'll be able to see everybody being silly and doing boom diadas. And it'll be fun, okay? Ready? I'm gonna get to the music. And here we go, we're gonna sing it 2 times through. I love the flowers, I love the daffodils, I love the mountains, I love the rolling hills, I love the fireside when the lights are low. Boom diada, boom diada, boom diada, boom diada. I love the flowers, I love the daffodils, I love the mountains. do jazz hands, everybody can see that you enjoyed that. All right, great job, everybody. Now, I think we're gonna spotlight me again. Except I am spotlighted and I can't see it. All right, there we go. So, I want to introduce you to Zebra. Now, some of you already met Zebra because Zebra's done a couple little cameo videos in the last month or so. Hi, everybody! I'm excited! Yes, Zebra, we know you're excited. Thank you. Thank you. So, but for those of you who haven't met Zebra, we got Zebra when Wolfie, who's my oldest son, who's 16, when he was 2 years old. So we've had Zebra for a long time. And he loved Zebra. Zebra lived under his pillow and protected him from monsters. Hi-ya! Hi-ya! And I think Zebra may also have had a toy sword and had battles. Yeah, I did. But Zebra's lived quite a peaceful life for quite a while now. And today, Zebra agreed to help me tell our story. So, once upon a time, Zebra lived in a safe place with his family. Do you see his family back there? But he had to stay home all the time because there was a virus that could make people really sick. And sometimes he was lonely. He missed his friends. And sometimes when he watched the news, he felt frightened or sad. On the news, he saw people protesting, telling the truth, saying that Black Lives Matter. He saw protesters getting hurt. He saw people arguing about how to make things better. Sometimes Zebra felt like he didn't know what to do. So when Zebra felt like things were too scary, or if he got bored, Zebra liked to draw. Now, I don't know if this is true for you, but when I was a little kid, I liked to draw, and I liked to draw the same things over and over again. When I was little, I especially liked to draw Victorian ladies in fancy dresses. Not just any Victorian ladies carrying umbrellas, walking dogs who had harnesses so the dogs had their own umbrellas. I have no idea why this is what I like to draw, but it was what I liked to draw. However, Zebra liked to draw flowers. Big flowers, little flowers, bright flowers, gray and black flowers, pencil flowers, purple flowers, but always flowers. So here's one of the flowers that Zebra drew. And if you are only on the phone and you can't see it, I'll describe it. It's got a green stem and 3 leaves, and it's got a red and pink spirally center and yellow petals. It's quite elaborate. And when Zebra drew a flower, it made him feel better. Flowers were beautiful. And the more beauty in the world, the better. It might not fix anything, but it couldn't make anything worse. Still, the flowers looked lonely. The flowers looked a little bit sad and a little bit scared because that was how Zebra felt when he drew them. Flowers always know what to do, though. They don't have that problem. They just be flowers. I want to invite you to draw a flower, just like Zebra did. You'll need a piece of paper. You'll need something to draw with. It could be almost anything. Could be a crayon or a marker, colored pencils, but just an ordinary pencil or a pen could work too. You can draw your flower almost any way you want to. But in case you don't feel confident about drawing, and sometimes people don't, I'm going to show you one way to draw a flower. So I'm going to turn on the whiteboard here and show you a very simple way to draw a flower, but you are welcome to draw your flower any way you want. Can you all see my flower? Give me a thumbs up if you can see my whiteboard. Not a flower. It's not a flower yet. Okay, great. So here's a, you know what? I'm going to undo that because that was too high. All right, here's a stem. And here are some leaves. Then I'm going to pick another color. Any color is fine. And do some daisy petals like this. And maybe I'll do another color for the middle like this. Maybe I'll color in the petals. Whoop, that's not what I meant to do. And remember, Zebra's not a great artist. He's just a zebra kid who likes to draw. So my flower doesn't have to be perfect, and your flower doesn't have to be perfect either. But there's one way to draw a flower. And I'll stop sharing my screen and we're back to the spotlight. Every person's flower, if you just drew a flower, your flower is going to be different from every other person's flower. Even if you followed my directions, everybody would do it a little bit differently. And I bet some of you drew your flower in a different way because you already have a way that you like to draw flowers. Now, maybe your flower is just a flower. Maybe your flower shows something about how you're feeling, like zebras did. If you're still working on your flower, that's fine. You can keep working on it. But when you finish it, or if you're finished with it now, hold on to your flower. We will need it later in the service. It's time for our next song, which is Mother Spirit, Father Spirit, led by Evelyn Walker. We are so excited that Evelyn got her power back in time to join us and do this. So again, I'm going to put the lyrics in the chat, and you can sing along at home with Evelyn.
Mother Spirit, Father Spirit, where are you? In the sky song, in the forest sounds your cry. What to give you, what to call you, what am I? I am empty, time flies from me, what is time? Dreams eternal, fears infernal haunt my heart. What to give you, what to call you, oh my God. Mother Spirit, Father Spirit, take our hearts, take our breath and let our voices sing our parts. Take our hands and let us work to shape our art.
That was beautiful. Thank you, Evelyn. That song, Mother Spirit, Father Spirit, was written by Norbert Chopik. The story of Chopik's life is full of both accomplishments and difficulties. He ministered, spoke, wrote, studied psychology, married twice, and fathered 11 children. He was driven from his homeland of the Czech Republic before the First World War, fleeing to America. He pastored a church during the Spanish flu pandemic in Newark, New Jersey. They went back to Europe in the 1920s, gathering a Unitarian congregation of over 3,000 members, the largest Unitarian church in the world at that time. And then during the Second World War, he was arrested by the Nazis, imprisoned at Dachau, and executed. Chopik created the ritual we now call the flower communion, to give something to the Unitarians in Prague that he felt they needed. He knew that for many of them, a religion which offered freedom of thought was a breath of fresh air. But they missed some things from the churches they used to attend. They missed the rituals, the music, the ceremonial robes, the majestic buildings, and the stained glass windows. So one day, he asked everyone in his church to bring a flower or a twig to the service. And he talked about flowers that day, just as we are today. A vase of flowers is beautiful, he said. Each one is unique and beautiful all by itself, but together, they're even more beautiful. Just like people, each one is unique and beautiful all by themselves, but together, working together, worshiping together, singing together, thinking together, feeling together, and standing up for what is right together. That's even more beautiful. Shopik asked everyone in this congregation that day to put their flowers or twigs in a common vase. Nothing separated the gifts each person had brought. And just that way, he said, nothing needed to separate the people in his congregation from each other. Now, right now, you may be asking yourself, are we together? We aren't in the same building. We aren't hearing each other's voices when we sing. We will not be placing all of our flowers and twigs in one vase. We might feel separated. It feels lonely not to be able to see each other's face to face, to shake hands and hold hands, and to hug each other. We might even feel separated by disagreements about the best ways to move forward against police brutality and towards racial justice. Sometimes the future may feel scary and sad, but we are together in some important ways. We need to struggle in our conversations, in our actions, and in our relationships with what the next right things are to do. As that first Unitarian, Francis David of Transylvania, said, we need not think alike to love alike. Our hearts are together. We are working together to create a shared experience right now, and our spirits are together. We are also together in sharing our personal joys and sorrows by lighting candles of community. This morning we'll be lighting imaginary candles, but after each candle is lit, please join me in saying, we hold you in our hearts. We light a candle of condolence for Darcia Mobley's son, Akinyele, whose friend Trevor Hoffman, a junior at Lower Merion High School, passed away suddenly and unexpectedly, apparently from heart conditions. Akinyele, we hold you in our hearts. We light a candle of condolence for Marianne Miller Misana, whose husband Tony passed away a couple of weeks ago. They are former members who moved to California for a few years and had recently moved back to the area. Marianne, we hold you in our hearts. We light a candle of condolence for Ann Miller, whose dear friend of more than 50 years, Nina Morgenstern, a resident of the Beaumont community, passed away last Sunday from COVID-19. Ann, we hold you in our hearts. We light a candle of hope for Trish Brandon's sister, Karen Mulvey, who has undergone 2 major surgeries this week and hopes that she'll be able to walk again. Trish and Karen, we hold you in our hearts. We light a candle of compassion for Ginger Whittington, who was hospitalized with congestive heart failure, but is now back home under the care of a home health nurse. Ginger, we hold you in our hearts. We light a candle of concern for Judy Wise, who is having eye surgery later this month. Judy, we hold you in our hearts. We light a candle of support for Pat Hennessy's niece, Molly Fisk, a reporter for the LA Times, who was struck by rubber bullets during last weekend's protest in Minneapolis, where she continues to report. Pat and Molly, we hold you in our hearts. We light a candle of support for Dilip Kumar's friend, Bob Sanghi from New Orleans, who is suffering from cancer. Dilip and Bob, we hold you in our hearts. We light a candle of joy for Jeff Moran's 95-year-old aunt, Corrine, who had COVID-19 and after a difficult time initially, is recovering nicely at her assisted living facility in Briarcliff Manor, New York. Jeff and Corrine, we hold you in our hearts. We light a candle of joy for Peter McDowell's mother, Barbara, who lives in a nursing home in Chester, Connecticut. She celebrated her 102nd birthday with a Zoom call with Peter and his sister. Barbara, we hold you in our hearts. We light a candle of congratulations for Maya Dimitrak, who graduated yesterday from Westtown School. Maya, we hold you in our hearts. We light a candle of celebration for Pat Hennessy's son, Sam, who is headed to Texas to begin a new chapter in his life, starting an MD, PhD program at Texas A&M. Sam, we hold you in our hearts. And we light a candle of hope and healing for our country, which is beset with anxiety over the spread of a deadly virus, with loneliness from isolation, with worry over financial stress, and with uncertainty over how long it will last. And now, more recently, we are beset with the trauma of witnessing a brazen murder, of witnessing a continuing legacy which should have ended long ago, and of witnessing both peaceful and violent rage over endless repetitive acts of cruelty and injustice. For the sick, the dying, and the grieving, for the depressed, the dejected, and the despairing, for the angry, the fearful, the hopeless, for our country, we hold you in our hearts. And for joys and sorrows too deep for words, we light a candle. Amen. And now let us join Silas Costa in singing, "There is a Love Holding Me."
There is a love holding me. There is a love holding all that I love. There is a love holding all. We rest in this love. There is a love holding us. There is a love holding all that we love. There is a love holding all. We rest in this love. We rest in this love.
Half of our collection throughout the summer will be donated to the Interfaith Hospitality Network, or IHN, of which MLUC is one of 12 host congregations that periodically provide homeless families with home-cooked meals and a safe place to spend the night. During this pandemic, homeless families are staying at the IHN Center in Norristown, but we can still help by donating meals and contributions to their emergency fund to help unemployed families pay their bills. You may donate online to IHN and to MLUC by going to our church's website and looking under the Members tab. Please give generously. And while you give, please enjoy this Polonaise by Bach, performed by Brent on the marimba.
So Zebra's back, and there he was, drawing flowers. And because some of the rules changed about the virus, his friend Rabbit was able to come by. Rabbit was wearing a mask, and so Zebra wanted to put on one too, because they wanted to keep each other safe. Let's get this on right.
How are you doing?
Oh, I'm okay.
Really? You sound kind of down.
Well, I guess I'm a little bit sad today. And a lot of things are scary, but I drew a flower.
Wow, that's a beautiful flower.
Drawing flowers makes me happy, but I miss you. I wish I could give you a hug and a kiss.
I wish I could give you a hug and a kiss. How come there's only one flower?
Huh, I never thought about it. I guess because there's only one me.
You're not the only one who feels sad and scared sometimes. What if you drew a whole bunch of flowers together?
That would be like if we could go to the playground together.
What if you drew a whole garden of flowers?
That would be amazing. That would be like everybody could go back to school and work and concerts and plays and ball games and church.
Yeah!
But we still can't really go play or go back to school or anything. And I'm worried about the people who are going to protests. I know it's really important to speak up, but I'm worried they might get sick.
Nope, we can't really be together like it used to be, yet I still think it might make you feel better to see a whole lot of flowers. Do you think these people might be able to help? Maybe they could draw some flowers.
Did you draw me flowers? Did you? So if you drew Zebra a flower, I want you to hold your flower up. I'm going to cancel the spotlight and you're going to put yourself in gallery mode so we can see everybody. If you drew a flower, hold your flower up so people can see it, so Zebra can see it. Oh my goodness, that's a lot of flowers, Zebra. I know, I'm really excited. Look at all those flowers. There are flowers with lots of branches. There are real flowers. Somebody's out on their porch with real flowers. There are tulips and daisies and bees and butterflies and all kinds of flowers. Should we take a screenshot, Zebra? Yes, we should definitely take a screenshot. Hold on, I know what the keys are. Ta-da! And then I'm gonna get another one of the next screen. There we go. And another one. Wow, look at all those flowers. Okay. Hold on just a second.
Are you feeling better?
Yes, I feel so much better. Everybody, your flowers remind me that you're still there. Your flowers remind me how beautiful you are. Your flowers remind me that people care about making things better. Your flowers remind me that the world is a beautiful place. Thank you, Zebra. Thank you for helping us. Thank you, Rabbit. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
So before this service was originally planned in May, we asked you to send us pictures of yourselves with real flowers in your gardens or from gardens you've seen other years in other places. And we've put together a slideshow of all these beautiful faces and flowers. And as you watch, I invite you to sing along with Angie Feliciano, who recorded our song ahead of time so it could sync with the slideshow. And I'm going to paste the lyrics in the chat.
Hallelujah.
I'm going to ask everyone to click on the gallery view button again so that we can see all of us, or as many of us as will fit on your screen. And then I'm going to ask you to hold up your flowers again so we can see them again. We'll close with a benediction and a blessing for the flowers. With my hands and with my heart, I bless these flowers. As they grew from small wizened seeds, let us remember that the beloved community we search for grows in our hearts each time we act lovingly, each time we speak truth to power, even when we are apart.
With my hands and with my heart, I bless these flowers. As they are each marvelous and completely unique, let us recognize that each of us, parent or child, sibling or friend, lover or loner, black, brown, or white, brings something singular and wonderful to our world that no one else ever has or ever will.
With my hands and with my heart, I bless these flowers. As they bloom, let us be given the strength to bloom. Each of us and all of us, happen what may, in sunshine or in rain.
With our hands and with our hearts, we bless these flowers in a spirit of love, in a spirit of life, and in a spirit of joy. Until we meet again, stay safe, stay well, and stay kind. We will take a brief break, and in about 5 minutes, we will reconvene here in the same Zoom room for our annual congregational meeting. So you don't have to go anywhere else that's new. See you in a few minutes.